initiator of the call for October will be Nellie Bailey.
Yeah, Nellie!
Nellie! Yeah! Sister that I've been in the streets with, I've been in jail with.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. This comes as a surprise to me, but I am pleased to be here. You know, this fight for justice that we talked about all night and that we've heard all year and for years and decades, and particularly after the South Carolina massacre, should ring true for all of us. You have no choice but to fight back. You have no choice. The perils of symbolism, the flag, surely is not the answer. Embracing a governor, as we see the black misleadership class scramble into the arms of the U.S. plutocracy for their favors. Not only the black misleadership class, but the buffoons and dashikis with diarrhea at the mouth. We need to talk about their ghost, the ghost in their house. We have before us in this movement, and thank goodness it is Carl, and that is why I am part of this initiation, because we have to have a critical, revolutionary analysis about moving forward.
Yes.
A reform agenda will not release us.
Yes.
It is so refreshing to see the young emerge out of this carnage of genocide in this gulag headed by a man with a brown face, this gulag of death and blood and greed that we see spread across the world, across the globe, in quest of the U.S. full-spectrum dominant global domination. And they have shamelessly and without hesitation brought this gulag here on the shores of this country that we have experienced for generations and generations and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And if you think for a moment that your white skin privilege will save you if you are working class, you are so wrong. You are so wrong. Now is the time for white America. And we do not, and we refuse to be the light of your moral consciousness. And if you cannot summon up the wisdom and the bravery and the analysis to bring forth your own racial consciousness about death and destruction that holds you down and will surely kill your sons and daughters or produce the monster of Dylan Roof. That is what you face if you do not join this struggle for human dignity. And that's what it is all about. How we save the world, how we save Mother Earth. Because these greedy, shameless, immoral capitalists do not care. They do not care whether it is Barack Obama, and how can any of us forgive him for that shameless buffoonery in Charleston at the funeral of Reverend this buffoon went there, getting down with the people as if he was in the Apollo Theater trying to sing Al Green, but he went into that church and he made a mockery of everything that we stand for. We cannot forgive him. We will not forgive him. We will call him out. We will call out the white face of imperialism, Barack Obama and white face, and that is Bill de Blasio in New York City. He will not get it for free rides, no more free lunches for Bill de Blasio. Let's call him out. If you want to stand with Commissioner Bratton, then you do it, but you don't do it on our watch. No, you do not do it on our watch, and we will tear down your false mantle of progressive politics. No, we will move forward in a revolutionary chorus of unity, a united front. As Cornel West said, you don't have to be a Marxist. You don't have to be a liberationist theologist. You don't have to accept any label that anyone wants to put on you. But you must accept the label of freedom fighter. That is our heritage. That is our heritage. That courses through our blood. That courses through the white blood of those who step like John Brown.
That's right.
That is our legacy. And when we come out on the 24th of October, let us stand proud. Let us move beyond October 24th for a new dawn and a new day, because we know with these imperialist dogs who are dying because their economy is crumbling and they are chewing their hands and knees and fingers around Greece pulling out the euro, because they know it is the death spiral for U.S. imperialism and global capitalism. It is before us. We need not be afraid. We need not be afraid. Toss off those shackles of fear and stand up tall as we all are, because we stand for humanity. Thank you very much.
Coming up, Mojique Tyler from Students Against Police Brutality.
Hello, everyone. I'm honored to be speaking with some of the people that have spoken before me, and I think we've heard a lot about why we need to be here and about the terrors that this country perpetrates every day. But there's another thing I think we need to hear. And this is about what's changed. And this is about what we have now. I graduated a couple weeks ago. And as anyone who's attended a graduation knows, the principal usually gives a speech. And the speech that the principal gives usually goes like this. It goes like, there are some problems in the world, but look at these great people who are graduating today who are going to make all of those problems disappear. But here's the thing. That's not the speech that my principal gave. In fact, it's the opposite of the speech that my principal gave. Because when my principal got up a couple weeks ago, he said, I'm not sure I have much hope for stuff being changed by these high school seniors. He said, we've been graduating high school seniors for hundreds of years, and yet we still have these events. And he said that despite the fact that he was told this when he came through high school, we still have the year bookended by two tragedies. He talked about Ferguson and he talked about Charleston. He talked about the fact that this year it looks even more grim than ever. What he didn't talk about is the fact that most high school classes that graduate have events like these bookend them. He didn't talk about the fact that there are Trayvon Martins, that there are others like that, that there are Sean Bells that come around every year. Why am I saying this? Well, what I'm saying is that what's changed is that people are talking about it, and what I'm saying is that what this year was really bookended by, what was really revolutionary, was that this year was bookended by rebellion and protest.
Yeah.
It was bookended by people, young and old, black and white, Latino, gay, straight, male, female. It was bookended by these people saying, we've had enough. By these people saying, we don't want to live in a world where the police can wantonly kill people.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, when I look at what's changed, it's not that the times have gotten any darker, it's that people are talking about it, that people are revolting against it, which is what makes today so important, which is what makes October 24th so important. Because what we have here is a chance to finally roll back some of this stuff again. The kind of chance that only comes once or twice in a lifetime. Now, it was Huey P. Newton that said, it is up to the youth to reclaim the revolution. I think they've done just that. Because if you look at Baltimore, if you look at Ferguson, if you look at New York on December 1st, you see that all over the place, black men and women, white men and women are coming out to say, we are going to take your streets by force until you give us back the lives of those you have stolen. Now, there's a lot of things that I've heard in recent months. I've heard from people that they don't want to be associated with certain organizations, and I understand that, because there are certain organizations that have caused a lot of people grief, and there are organizations that I've seen sit by and tell people not to engage police as they beat and arrest people because they did not want to be about confronting them. I understand these problems, but these are people to talk with. These are people to engage in spaces like these and not to say, we will cast you by the wayside. Because what this movement has been lacking is brotherhood. There are a million different organizations who are working on this, and that is amazing, but what hasn't happened is they haven't come together and said, we have our differences. You may be about reform, and I may be about revolution, but what's really important is that they're killing black people, and right now where we need to be is the streets.
Yes.
So no matter what organization brought you here, let's remember this. We're here because they're killing people. We're here because of mass incarceration. And we're not here necessarily just because of an organization, but we're here because of a movement. A movement that's taken many different forms in many different places. A movement that has a legacy back to the Civil Rights Movement and far, far past that. To the Haitian Revolution and all of the other times when people have said, we will not be slaves anymore.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Society has a few skeletons in its closet, and it is our job, no matter what our race, no matter what our gender, no matter what our sexual orientation, to air those, to air all of the skeletons, because I don't want to live in a world where my children have to be doing this, and where I have to fear for my peers and my children's safety, where I have to joke about the mass incarceration and the school-to-prison pipeline being real simply because I saw a police car outside of my school on the day of my graduation, where I don't have to worry about the 13 squad cars that came down to my school when we held a teach-in to educate people about what's going on, where I don't have to worry about the fact that I was put in jail and they tried to put me in jail for, when I was taken to court and they tried to put me in jail for a whole year simply because I was out on April 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah. These people ruin lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
opportunity in this time to bring about a new civil rights movement, a different civil rights movement, one that will finally put an end to all of the oppression that we have seen people talk about here today. And I think that students, as much as anyone, need to be a part of that, and need to be a part of leading that. And one of the main demographics of people who has been a part of leading that, who I would like to honor here today, are black women, are young black women. People who are no matter where I go, I see that they are today's role models. That there are more people who take after Angela Davis than Malcolm X. Thank you.